Welcome to the YMCA Micro Basketball Coaches Meeting. Today we will go over everything you need to know for this upcoming season, from guidelines and restrictions, policies, the micro program itself, and player space. One of the most important things this year is making sure everyone is aware of and following all guidelines and restrictions. We want to be able to provide the kids with the opportunity to play and in the safest way possible. First, you will see all participants are required to fill out an LPS waiver form. This needs to be completed before they attend the first practice. This waiver will be sent out electronically through Player Space and can all be filled out online. Face masks are required to be worn by coaches at all times, required to be worn by any spectator that is attending, required to be worn by the players during practices, required to be worn by players during games when they are on the bench, walking to and from the court, waiting to be subbed into the game, and during warm-up periods. It is strongly recommended that those athletes that are able to wear a mask during competition do. As we continue with guidelines, you will see we have a maximum of 2 coaches per team. 1 adult participant from the same household as the participant is allowed into the facility, and that adult must walk into the facility with their child. No siblings or extended family are allowed in. The entire document of guidelines can be found on our website and is sent to all participants as well. Again, please follow these guidelines so that we can continue to play. If these are not followed, you may be asked to leave the facility or not able to participate in the program. We want everyone to be able to continue playing. As this is a youth sports program, we would like to not only focus on teaching the game of basketball and physical skills, but building self-esteem, values, and building relationships among peers. Our 3 areas of focus are youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Our micro basketball program, which you have signed up for, is for 1st grade boys and girls. This is a 7-week season where teams will play games of 5-on-5. For micro, all of our programs follow this format of a 25-minute practice followed by a 25-minute game. You'll notice on your schedules that the first practice will begin January 16th and 17th. We have moved this back 1 week from the original start date. All players will need YMCA reversible jersey and tennis shoes. The YMCA will provide a few basketballs for your court, but would still encourage players to bring their own, as you're only going to receive about 3 to 4 basketballs per team. As always, players may not wear any type of jewelry. Earrings cannot be taped and must be taken out. Our YMCA reversible jersey pictured here is required to be worn by all participants. On your schedule, when your team is listed as the home team, you will wear the white side of the jersey. When your team is listed as away, you will wear the blue side of the jersey. The team's jerseys will be bagged up and located at their first practice site to be handed out by the site supervisors the first week. A rostered list of who has purchased jerseys and sizes will be included in the bag and will be handed to coaches. If you have someone on your team who did not pre-order a jersey, they can be purchased in our youth sports office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Basketball jerseys are not for sale on game days at sites. We would like you to contact and introduce yourself to team members within 2 days of receiving the information. The Player Space software will have everyone's information already provided in the system. Sometimes we will receive late registrations for kids wanting to join at a later date, so we may contact you within the next few weeks if you want to add any of those players to your team. All of our practices and games are played at LPS gyms. All guidelines must be followed. Teams should arrive no more than 10 minutes before their scheduled start time. And reminder, fan attendance is limited to 1 adult per participant who must walk in with their athlete. As a YMCA youth sports coach, you are responsible for your own behavior and the behavior of your fans. We want all players to be given equal playing time and the chance to play multiple positions. As coaches, make sure to read through our coach behavior policy. At no time should a volunteer leave a child unsupervised or be alone with a single child where they cannot be observed. Individuals may be given a warning for inappropriate behavior or may be asked to leave the game and be asked not to return for other youth sports activities. We want all fans to exhibit good sportsmanship. Negative behavior will not be allowed. Any inappropriate behavior towards participants, fans, coaches, or staff should be brought to the attention of the YMCA staff. Weather will be monitored by YMCA youth sports directors, and participants would be notified of any cancellations. Typically, those cancellations are posted on our weather line and sent out through PlayerSpace. When it comes to concussions, when in doubt, sit them out. Here you can find links to various sheets on more concussion information. There's also a video here you can watch. For micro this year, we have 2 sites that will be used, Lux and Pound Middle Schools. Here you see a court diagram of each location. The labels for East and West side will pertain to the first week of just practice to help players and parents go to the correct team. As players show up for practice, be sure to check your roster and make sure they are with your team. This next part, we are going to talk about PlayerSpace and guide you through the main components of the site you will use. So once you get logged into PlayerSpace here, this is kind of one of the general screens you'll see. As a coach, what I would recommend you doing is doing it on your desktop for the first time. You'll be able to see a little more. So first thing you want to do is go into the right-hand corner, go to My Teams. This will show you any teams that your child may be on or that you're a coach of. So we've just kind of made one team active to go through some stuff, put some fake names on there so you can see everything. So I'm going to visit my team page here. And you're going to have this toolbar here. The main things you're going to use are your activity wire, your schedules, and your coach's corner. First thing, if you're looking for your roster, if you click here, this is just going to give you a list of first and last names, just like what the parents can see. You're going to want to use your coach's corner. So when I go to my coach's corner, I have my roster tab here. Right now there's only one player on here, but this is where you'll be able to see everyone on your team. And if you're looking for that PDF printout that has much more information on it, you're going to go to the Export Roster button over here. And then you'll see this will give you the player name, parent name, phone numbers, their email, so everything that they provided us with in the registration. On the far left-hand column, you're going to see the letters YS. So what that means is that player has ordered a jersey, so that when you get that your bag of jerseys and your roster list, that'll tell you who ordered a jersey and what size. So YS is just youth small. Most of your first graders are going to be a youth small or a youth medium. And if it lists NA, that means they did not pre-order a jersey. And then below the name, you can also see what school that child attends. So you as a coach, you are actually the only one on your team who will have access to export a roster like this. Next, I've got messaging. So for when you're wanting to reach out to your team here, you can send it a couple different ways. You've got email and PS inbox, just means player space inbox. So you can send out a message here. You can send it as a text. You can send it as an email and a text. The one thing with text message that I would be aware of is everyone's information that is put in is what they gave us on their registration form. So if they did not give us their cell phone number, they would not receive a text then. Another place that you can post messages is going to be your activity wire. So an easy way to post on your activity wire is if you're looking for people to respond. Everyone will see this on their page where it says coach needed, but it's got information here. It just automatically is set to always do that where it says coach needed, even when we've attached a coach to the team. So the biggest thing is you'll just look up here to see if you have a coach or if you're listed as the coach there. So you can post a message on your team here. They can comment on anything if you're looking for replies. Next, we have your schedules tab. So here you can choose all events, past events, upcoming events. It's going to list everything for you. You'll notice for micro, you're always just one day of the week. So you're either always going to be Saturday or always going to be Sunday. And your start time here, so if your schedule says 1 o'clock, that is the time that your practice starts. You'll notice the first week, like I said, the first week is just a 50-minute practice. So we've kind of got it labeled a little more to get everyone to the right location of the court. The next week, let's say this team, they start at 3:20, so practice starts at 3:20, 25 minutes in, then they start their game. If you are looking to get a PDF printout of your schedule, you can always go to this blue button here, and that will give you the printout PDF of all the games and practices. So we also talked about an LPS waiver earlier that you would need to fill out. The biggest thing to remember with this is, let's say you signed up as coach, but your spouse filled out the information for your daughter or son's registration, then the waiver that needs to be filled out would be under their email address. So it'd be whoever put that information in. So to fill out that participation waiver, I'm just going to go to my name in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to go to participation requirements. And then I've got the waiver button here. So if it's your first time ever using this, just down below here, it's going to have a box and it's going to have you create your digital signature. Once that is created, it'll then give you the option here to fill out and post, so that it'll allow you to read your waiver, sign it, date it, submit it, and then it'll be listed here as posted, and you are all set for the waiver. A lot of people will also ask, what does 1B or 1G stand for? Simple explanation here, it just means first grade boys, first grade girls. Just a very easy way for us here to, when people call in, kind of figure out which grade we're looking at. As you know, we have many teams, so there's probably a few teams called Flyers, a few teams that are called Celtics, and it also helps the parents who've got multiple kids, you know, which team goes with which child. Anything for cancellations, if we have to cancel through weather, we can also send out a notification through player space if we do have to cancel. If you are also having parents contact you and say that only one parent is able to see the information, that goes the same for when they registered, they were only able to submit one parent's information. So the biggest thing, just have them call our youth sports office. we will get that other parent added as a fan. That parent, they'll all probably tell you that they created an account, they can't see it. If they create their own account, there is no way for them to actually attach themselves to their child's team. That is something that we will have to do. So we also have a Player Space app that comes with it. It's very useful for you as a coach if you're going to use it. I know a lot of people don't like the app, but essentially we're going to kind of walk through what you would see here. First screen here, obviously on your left, once you get logged in, this is what you're going to see. If I click on my teams, it's going to list all my teams here. So again, if I'm someone who has multiple children in our programs, this would be helpful because if I've got a first grader, I know Flyers 1B, that means it's my first grade child. There's another team there. I'm able to figure out which team belongs to who. So if I click on my team name, I then get this screen here. And if I want to send a message just to the whole team, I can hit send message, get whatever I need sent out. Otherwise, if I want to send it individually to someone, I can go to manage my roster, and this screen here is going to pop up. We just have some things hidden, obviously, right now for privacy reasons. But you're going to see the player's name, the parent's name, their phone number. So if you want to call, Johnny's on your team here, you want to call just Johnny, just hit this button. It'll call him directly. We've got send message to Player Space inbox. To me, that's one I'd kind of avoid just because they may not get that notification as much. And then we have the just send an email. So again, back to this main screen here, if I go to visit team page, I'm going to get this one on the far side here where I've got that activity wire where I can post messages to. And then it's got my schedules tab, standings, and brackets. We obviously don't do anything with that for micro basketball. So once I click on my schedules, I'll be able to see my schedule in the app. Everything's right here, court location, school location, all that kind of stuff. You'll see again, basketball practice the first week, basketball game, but that means you start practice at 3:20. The other biggest thing with COVID this year is we really need coaches to track attendance each day so that we know who's in the facility. If we need to go back to anything, we have record of who was all there. So the only thing is I can't do this on my first day. For some reason, the system just won't allow it because it's listed as a practice. But the next day, when I have an actual game, I can click on Manage Event here, and then I'm going to get this screen here so I can track team attendance. So I can do it if, we get there, our game starts at 3:20, all of a sudden everyone's there, line them up, open my app, and then I can just go through this real quick. And on this far right-hand side, all I got to do is click here. If I tap once, it'll show that they're attending. Tap twice, it'll show not sure. Tap 3 times, it'll show not attending. If you want, you can try to get parents to really fill this out too, because as a parent, they have access to the same schedule screen. They can check their child in as well too, or let you know if their child's not going to be there. And the best thing about this then too is if you guys are filling this out, parents are filling this out, we are able here back in the office to print direct reports of who was all there. Okay, biggest part of what you're all probably looking for information on now is the actual rules for micro basketball. So we won't read through all of them. We'll just kind of skim through some of the important ones that you can look over more. Biggest thing, micro basketball, obviously we do not keep any score in micro. The games will be 5-on-5. And for micro basketball, fouls will be called. Players may receive 5 fouls before he or she is removed from the game. If a shooting foul is called, then free throws will be attempted. The biggest thing for micro basketball, just like our micro soccer, coaches, you are the officials out on the court. Defensive rules we have, these are kind of some big things we really want to hit with micro, as we really want them to see success and start learning the game. So defense, there's going to be no defense played in the backcourt. We want them to be able to bring the ball up. There's no double teaming and no switching allowed at any time. There's no stealing the ball while the offensive player has possession of the ball. The ball may be only stolen off a passing attempt. For offensive rules, offensive team, it cannot shoot behind the defensive line, so that's going to be the 3-point line. And fast break rule, a team may fast break a maximum of 5 times per half. And then you'll see down at the bottom again, their game is 2 12-minute halves. They're going to use a junior size basketball, which we'll have provided there. And they will play, their basket height will be 8.5 feet. Each court will have a game clock located already on the court. Biggest thing there is please do not adjust or add any more time to the clock. If your practice and game start at 1 o'clock, we want you to get started right away at 1 o'clock. We don't want you adding any time to it later. All micro time slots are set up for 50 minutes. So you've got your time slot there. As soon as your game is over, we want you guys ending your game and clearing out the gym. We don't want you huddled around, spread out talking in the gym. We want you guys to leave the facility as soon as you're done so that our staff can go through, get everything sanitized and ready for the next group to come in. If you have any questions regarding micro basketball, please email or call. Information is listed here. And just a reminder, our office is only open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then all of this stuff, the micro basketball rules and our micro basketball manual, that can also be found on our youth sports website. There's also links to it in the coach's email that was sent out with this video. And then there will be, if you're looking for any lesson plans, we've got all that sent in there as well, and we'll send it out weekly to you too. Otherwise, thank you and good luck this winter.